Fairy Trails Farm, and today I'm going to show you how to loom knit a mushroom. This might seem like a weird thing to loom knit, but mushroom decorations have been around since the 60s and the 70s. They were very popular when I was a child in the 70s. We had mushrooms on ceramic canisters, you had ceramic mushrooms, you had mushroom nightlights. One of my very distinct childhood memories is this gold sparkly, it was like gold, it was like white clear plastic with gold specks in it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And it was a mushroom-shaped nightlight we had in the hallway going towards the bathroom. So I'm going to show you how to do the mushroom. This is very cute accessory for the gnome. That I don't know if you watched that video. If maybe you've already loom knitted him up. But a few of these would be really cute with your gnome for a display. You can do it any color you want. I'm using yellow and white. You need two complementary colors. And let's get started. Alright, as I said, I have two colors and I'm using, usually I always use a weight of 4 yarn. That's just, I find that's a good weight to use for crafting. Alright, I used 3 different kinds of looms on this video. I used a small, as I like to call, fat peg loom that is 3.5 diameter, and it has with 20 pegs, and this is what we are going to start with. So the top of my mushroom is going to be yellow with white dots, and the stem is going to be white. So the first thing you need to do on this loom is loom knit a tube, just a tube, just like you were doing a little hat but no cuff, just a tube. That measures approximately 5 inches, 5.5 inches in there. Like I said, you can always adapt. Always err on the side of longer than shorter, because if it's longer you can always tuck it in and sew it. So that's the first piece we need. This is going to be our stem. Now, for the bottom part of the stem, we want it to sit flat if possible. So we want to use the same loom, same color white, and we're going to make like a medallion. These are going to be the polka dots, but it's going to look like this, only bigger, so we can insert it in the bottom and it will stay. You need to loom knit for approximately 1.5 inches. We're going to take it off of the loom. I have my new coffee cuff. It's the Grover. The Monster at the End of the Book was my favorite book. Like when I was a kid, and when reading it to my kids. And on the back it says, "You turn the page." Alright, so let's take this off of the loom. Just in case you're new to our channel and you're just joining me, I often have questions asking me about what needles I use, and I use long steel big-eyed upholstery needles, and they're very sharp. But the length allows me to really pick up the stitches right off of the loom quickly, and also you can use it when you're sewing, and it's really good because it's so long, you're able to push it through all that knitted fabric when you get done making things. The plastic ones that usually come with the sets, they're good for a temporary thing, but I find that the way I guess I grip them and grasp them, I seem to snap those needles in half eventually. So these are, to me, a much better alternative. Now I'm just going to draw it up. So now I have like a little hat. I'll do a stitch through here just to secure everything. I'll poke that needle right up into the center through the top. And now I have my little upside down hat. I want to go through at the top where you had the little, where it was on the loom to begin with, and I'm just going to go through here, and I'm just going to do like a purse string stitch all the way around, because I'm going to gather this up as well. I'm going to turn this into a medallion. Sort of flatten it, draw that up, do a few stitches, secure all that. Only one side is going to be visible, so the other side can be messy if you want it to be. You don't have to be, take your time or anything if you don't want to. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this attached. Because the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our stem and our medallion. All right. I'm just going to set it right inside, and I'm going to go around. I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm just going to go around and sew that medallion to the stem. And if y'all like, really fall in love with any of my projects or anything, I really appreciate it when people share my videos, the link to my videos on YouTube, either on your social media or your blog or whatever you do. Gotta watch those ads is how I get paid. I don't know. Some people don't realize that. The only way the creators on YouTube get paid is if you watch those ads, let those ads roll. Alright, now I have, it's like a tube with the bottom on it. And you notice I still have some on the top. I'm leaving that in case I need it. So it will stand up pretty good now. You could also, if you wanted it pretty rigid, you could use a toilet paper tube. You could cut it down to size to make it, if you really want it, if you really think it needs to stand, stand more solidly, but I think this is going to be pretty good. See, it gives it a pretty flat bottom there. It's not wobbling or anything. Also, if yours is doing a little wobble or something, you could cut a little square. You could cut a little circle of cardboard that is this little bit smaller than your medallion, and you can put it in the bottom inside before you stuff it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stuff it. Top of the mushroom, I used yellow, and I used what I call the skinny peg loom. That is the 5-inch diameter, and then it has 44 pegs. You can buy these on Amazon. I prefer these skinny peg ones because, as you see, it does a really tight knitted cable-like effect, opposed to the larger one. So you are going to loom now. Oh, sorry. So on this one, we're doing like a little mini hat, but we did a cuff. If you don't know how to do a cuff, go watch my hat video. I hate to be redundant on these videos because most of my project videos end up being so long, and people don't really like to watch long videos. People like to watch videos about 7 minutes and under, and these project videos, for the most part, will end up being a minimum of 15 minutes. Some of them go up to 35, 40 minutes. So, again, I don't want to be redundant, so you just need to make a cuff. And if you know how to make a cuff, know how to make a hat with a cuff, that's great. If you don't, go check out my hat video, and it'll show you really easy. It's not hard at all. So you have a cuff, and you're going to be knitting after you've made your cuff. Your cuff should be about a 1/2 inch. So you will knit for 1 inch before you fold it over, and then you'll have a 1/2 inch cuff. So 2.5, so 3 inches total. But because you're making the cuff and you're folding it over, it's going to be 2.5. So knit for 1 inch, fold it over to make a 1/2 inch cuff, and then let's see if we do it that way and say we've already done our cuff. Then you knit for two more inches after you've made your cuff. So this is going to be the top of the mushroom. So I'm going to okay, and when you get that off the loom, just draw it up. And I'm going to make a few stitches to secure my sort of little hat I've got here. Looks like a little cap of the mushroom. So let's put that right there. Now we want to do some polka dots for our cap of our mushroom. If you watched my, this is like 2 or 3 years ago, my St. Patrick's Day pot of gold was one of my favorite projects. These are so fun to make. I don't know why. Another thing you can do, which I'm probably going to do a video on, is you remember the old yo-yo clowns and stuff people used to make in the 70s, especially 50s, 60s, 70s. You can make a whole bunch of these and you can string them together and you can make dolls and clowns and little animals and stuff. And we're probably going to do one of those videos soon. But you're going to need 3 of these, and I've got 2 done. And the loom I use the most, and this is a Studio 12 flower loom, but I use the inside as an actual loom, and I know a lot of my followers have gone and just bought these. They're vintage. You can buy them off eBay, Etsy. I find them at Goodwill frequently, and when I find them, I buy them. They're usually cheap, and I save them, or I end up giving them away is what I usually end up doing. But so you want this little middle because it is exactly 2 inches. Hard to find a loom that small. I use this for everything. If you don't have it, just use the smallest loom you can find. For that matter, you could also just use cloth and cut out a little circles. These little circles are going to be, they're 1.5 inches in diameter. You could just cut it out of felt and glue them on. It would probably be easy. I knitted for approximately, this one came in at 1 1/8 inch. Get that out. I'm just going to take it off the loom. I'm going to gather it up just like a little tiny little hat. Going to do a couple stitches to secure it. Close the gap. I'm going to poke that needle right through the middle, come up at the top, and we're going to do exactly what we did for the large medallion when we made the bottom of the stem. We're just going to go around the top so we can draw this up. Draw it up. We want to flatten it out. Make it as round as possible. And I'm not going to bother cutting it because I'm going to use that yarn. Okay, on our little cap, we're going to do 3 of them. You could do 4 if you wanted, but I decided I didn't. So let's see, I'm going to position them around my hat, and I'm just going to sew them on by grabbing some of the yarn underneath each of the little medallions and poking it through the hat. Alright, I'm going to sew that final one on. I'm going to go ahead and cut and do that one so I'm not using up a bunch of time that I'm going to have to fast forward anyway, because you get the picture. So let me sew this on real fast. Dots. Now, I am going to use the yarn that I left at the top of my tube. I'm going to draw that up. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going to shape my fiber fill in there, so I'm pushing it up so it's fat, but it sort of gets skinnier at the top a little bit. I'm going to turn it over, and this is how I'm going to be sewing it. I'm going to do it inside out here. Might be easier to see that way. And now I'm going to sew it. I'm trying to decide if I want to change to yellow yarn. You know, I think I'm going to secure my top, but I'm going to switch to some yellow yarn because I'm afraid my white is going to show through. So I'm going to put it at the top of the stem. I'm going to tie it because knots just pop right through. This is not going to show. It's going to be inside. Now I got my top is inside out so I can see it easier. Alright, what I want to do is just go around in the center. And I just want to sew on the stem to the top of the mushroom cap. It doesn't take a lot of stitching, just stitch and turn, stitch and turn. there in that center when we made the little cap, it's all gathered, so it's not going to show. So there we go. Not a lot of stitches at all. Just going around. Now I'm going to squish at the top and push it. Just sort of mold it. I just think it's so cute. So you can do a bunch of different colors, you know, whatever you want. They're super cute and so easy. And you could do, I'm going to do my little gnome. It just goes really good with the little gnome. And it's just a cute little fun project. So I hope you have had fun making this mushroom. It's really easy, and you could probably experiment and make different sizes too. But try out different colors and find out the color that you like the best. So this has been Angie with Canterbury Trails Farm, and I hope you had fun doing this. Talk to you later.